What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Most Valuable Podcast. I am Mark Williams with my colleague
Victor Castro.
and we are just two dudes who still do real estate for a living. And we are on episode 49. We are almost at the half-century mark. We've done 49 podcasts in like a year.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. There's only 53 weeks in the year.
I know we've been very consistent, I should say. And happy to be chatting real estate with you, bro.
Yeah, man. Me too. We should if you tuned in this long to us, stay tuned. We should make number 50. We should do something cool for the 50th one. But today we were like, man, doing so many podcasts, it's like, be running out of ideas.
Yeah.
What can we talk about? And with the market's I'm seeing a kind of a shift in the market, and we're starting to get more buyers coming up, and a lot of people have a lot of questions with everything that's going on in the world. So we decided, hey, why don't we type into ChatGPT, which everybody loves to use AI now. Why don't we type in and see what are the biggest myths about real estate, specifically to the Bay Area? And I know you typed in that prompt. So what we're going to do over the next 30 minutes or so is we're going to read what ChatGPT has said about some of these myths, and we're going to either confirm them or debunk them. You can say this is MVP Mythbuster Edition podcast.
Should be fun.
Yeah. Let's so you type that prompt in, Victor. Let's go ahead and let's just start going down the list.
Sure. So I got one for you, man. And you being a San Franciscan, native to San Francisco, the peninsula, ChatGPT says San Francisco is dead. Everyone is leaving. What do you got to say?
I mean, I would say to that, and my wife's funny because my daughter copies when I say this. I would say yes and no. I would agree to the point that San Francisco, in my perspective, is not as family friendly and vibrant as it once used to be, like from when I grew up in the 80s and 90s, right?
That's fair to say. It's a busy lifestyle out there.
Yeah, and with a lot of businesses not having their headquarters in San Francisco anymore, and either moving more down the peninsula to like San Mateo and Santa Clara County, that San Francisco is not as desirable for a family to live in. That being said, I think there is a big boom in condo and apartment style living in the city, and it's attracting, and with the prices being a little bit more affordable because there is more inventory and less demand, that it is very attractive to someone in their early adulthood that are starting a career in like the nightlife and be able to like walk down the street and go to different restaurants and stuff. I would be very interested in like living in San Francisco if I was like in my early 20s and didn't want to have an attachment to a house.
Single.
Yeah. Even if you're in a relationship. I mean, the thing about living in the Bay Area is you always need a roommate. So whether that roommate's a friend or a significant other, even though we're saying prices are down, it's still going to be expensive, right?
True.
So I would say yes, that I think you have seen the picket fence, 2 adults and 2 kids, 3 kids and a dog family leave San Francisco.
It's not your suburban living.
No.
It's your high rise usually.
Yeah.
Unless you live like in maybe an old Victorian or something like that styled home. We've all seen what is the famous show with the 2 twins?
Property Brothers?
No. The Olsen twins.
Oh, Full House.
Full House.
Yeah, Full House family ain't living in San Francisco anymore.
Right outside, right across the street. It was what's that park?
Dolores
Park.
Yeah.
Famous with the beautiful view of the entire city. That's what everyone imagines the old San Francisco. And that's like, to your point, maybe back in the day, that's what it was. But now with the rising costs in rent and
Uh-huh.
groceries and gas and taxes, and California is expensive.
Yep.
San Francisco, particularly, very expensive. So to that point, yes, many people have probably left, but for many, it still makes sense.
Yeah. It's not I mean, there's in any city, right? Every city has its
Pros and cons.
pros and cons. It's areas that need a little bit more help, and the areas that are kind of stay consistent. And San Francisco has that. There's tons of neighborhoods in this, in such a small area. Um, Last year, I just saw, just gave me a reminder. I got to send them their anniversary card, but I helped a family buy in Bernal Heights neighborhood their first home, and they were having their first kid, which is he's now here, and they love it. It's a small little home. It's just three of them and their dog and a turtle, a little backyard, and the home is super cute. But I can imagine if that family was to grow, they're going to need more space, and just how much it costs for what they got, in relation to if they were to get something double the size, is like double the price, right? So, I can see they're going to have a couple options. Either A, do an addition, right? Which with permitting and everything like that with the city, like, do you even want to go through that headache? Or do you just say, hey, we have this nice home. Do we rent it out? And then go move, down the peninsula or across the bridge to a more, suburban type
Yeah.
atmosphere.
I think, to follow up on that too, man, I think just headlines exaggerate.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the media. I'll repeat that. I am not a fan personally.
As someone
of
with
the
the media degree, I'm not a fan either.
So, just because you're reading headlines and stuff like that, news articles, doesn't mean that they're necessarily true. Some things might be, but to an extent.
Yeah.
So what better to maybe visit the city for yourself?
Yeah.
Get your own perspective, because just like anything, there's good and bad. Homelessness exists in every city, right? There's areas where maybe a concentration of homeless maybe live in, but you go outside of that area and it's beautiful.
Yeah, and I will give credit to the new mayor of San Francisco. I know they put a lot of things in place trying to make it more safer for everybody, including tourism, right? Which is a huge thing for San Francisco. So we'll see. We'll see if it's temporary fix or if it's permanent fixes. What a lot of people don't realize is in the late 70s and early 80s, New York City was like that. New York City was very dangerous. Times Square, you couldn't walk. It wasn't what we see today. And New York City had like this renaissance, right? So every city kind of goes through that. And I hope sooner than later, San Francisco will be back to, which I think was the world's best city.
All of its glory.
Yeah. So, let's hope that sooner than later.
Hopefully the Niners go back to San Francisco.
Well, they're
one
not.
day.
Yeah, I think that would be the move. But we could talk about
We could
that.
talk about
Yeah.
that later.
Cool, man. What's okay?
What's another?
So is that myth busted? I would say inconclusive.
It's in part yes, in part no. It depends on your own perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Like the show go poof, busted or not busted. I would say inconclusive on that
Right.
one.
Yeah.
All right, number 2.
Number 2, tech downturns permanently hurt the housing market. Tech layoffs make buyers cautious, but history shows the Bay Area real estate recovers quickly once stability returns because the job base and salaries are still among the strongest in the country.
So it's saying that the tech market influences the tech.
Yeah,
the tech job market influences real estate.
And I mean, I can agree. I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
The boom in the tech industry here in the Bay Area, all located in the peninsula. You had Google, you had Facebook, Meta, you
Still
had
there.
Apple,
Yeah.
all these companies, right? Yahoo, PayPal, just everyone is in Silicon Valley, right?
Yeah.
What happened when they started growing and booming? They had to bring in more workers. They needed to bring more employees from across the country. So they needed a place to live. and they were making huge salaries. But also in combination with that was COVID,
Yeah.
right? You had COVID come by and also increase prices when rates came down. They had the money to,
Yeah.
buy the home or put in a large down payment. And that's why pricing boomed here in the Bay Area to what it was.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it correlates, right?
Yeah.
Anytime a job market, the area is known for a specific industry and the industry is booming, it's going to bring more money to the area. It's going to bring more people to the area, and it's definitely going to have an effect on the market. As far as like the tech market crashing, yeah, you're going to see a little bit of a dip. I think prices will. I mean, it depends on the city. I think we're past that point now where like certain areas are just always in demand. I would say like cities like Fremont and Mountain View and Los Gatos, like all these premium cities that are very tech driven and have skyrocketed in value since the .com boom and going forward. But you'll also see like cities like San Francisco, who used to have a lot of tech industry. I think you see a lot of downturn in commercial real estate when it comes to like
More so than residential.
I would say more so than residential. But yeah, I would say that myth is true, that the shift in the industry can have an effect on like the home values and demand and stuff like that.
And then some tech companies also left Silicon. Like not obviously not everyone, but
Yeah,
what happened to Tesla? They moved their headquarters to
a lot of
Texas, right? And
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of companies that leave. It's usually like a tax reason, right? Go to a state with no state tax, and you know, I don't. It's not necessarily paying employees less. I think they end up paying them the same amount. A lot of employees go, right? So they're not going to take less money. You probably get more to even move, just in the longevity of it. It's like regulations for growth and taxes is why you have companies leaving California. I mean, In-N-Out left California, bro.
yeah, it's not tech, but you can compare it.
Yeah, I mean, and it was more of a, the business model, like how state taxes can affect, businesses and stuff like that. So, yeah, I would say that's true. I say that myth is true. Like,
And regulation.
yeah, I would say that myth is true as far as a a dip or increase in the tech market will affect real estate. True.
True.
Poof. True.
Debunked. Or
Debunked. Yeah. Debunked.
okay. Number 3, East Bay. I'm just gonna say East Bay because I don't agree with the other.
No, read the whole thing.
Okay.
You got ChatGPT because
I don't know why. I don't know why I brought up the South Bay, but it's not affordable.
Yeah, but you got to remember though, like someone that types in that same prompt in ChatGPT is gonna get the same answer.
True.
So let's just answer what it says.
East Bay and South Bay are just cheaper alternatives. Not true.
Yeah.
Many buyers choose those areas for lifestyle, schools, and communities, not just price. And that's what I tell everyone when we answer on our home tours.
Yeah.
On YouTube, TikTok. Follow us on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram if you haven't already.
At the THE MVP Real Estate on all platforms.
On all platforms. We do 7 tours a week showcasing different cities in Contra Costa County. And it's funny to see the perspective of people living in Oklahoma, Texas, or somewhere out in the East Coast, because their market is different than ours. They're used to seeing a home that's similar size out here for like maybe 1,300 square feet that is going to sell for $300,000 out there. Here, it might cost you over $1 million. Look at those homes in Pleasant Hill that I just did. You're looking at close to $1 million. So the market price is not set by realtors. That's another thing that I hate having to prove myself. We don't set the price. The consumer sets the price.
Yeah.
We can only advise what we would do in their position to get their offers accepted if there's demand or if there's lower demand. Yeah. That's all we do.
Yeah. And I would say that for that one, maybe 2025? Maybe like 30 years ago, I would say I would say the South Bay in particular, absolutely not. Like going to the South Bay, anything in the South Bay is super expensive. So that you're not moving to the South Bay to get a cheaper home. Like it's just as expensive for just as small of a square footage as like San Francisco. 100%. Might even be more.
It's actually one
Yeah,
of
I remember there was like in Mountain View, like a couple during COVID, there was that story. Remember, it was like a 300 square foot house for like three. I'm probably exaggerating, but it was like almost $3 million
Yeah, it
for
was
like
like
300 square feet.
it was crazy.
It was like a 1-bedroom house for like $3 million, and everyone's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's crazy." Like, so and then I mean, the South Bay extends. We do a golf tournament coming up in Hollister. The homes in Hollister are like the brand new builds, which are nice homes. Yeah, maybe they're a little bit bigger than an older home in San Francisco, but they start like $1 million in Hollister, bro. You know how far that is?
Just letting you know, Hollister's probably an hour south of San Jose
With no traffic.
with no traffic.
Yeah, so like it's expensive, dude. Like even the East Bay. Yeah, like if you go more east, things do become more affordable. I wouldn't even say more affordable. I would just say you get more for your money, like square footage rise, like price per square foot is less, but it's still really expensive. Like you're not moving out to Concord and going to get a house for 300 grand. Like, there's neighborhoods that you might be able to get in 700s, right? And then there's neighborhoods that are $1 million, $2 million. I think the average home in Contra Costa County is like close to $1 million, right? So it's expensive.
Yeah,
it's expensive, bro.
Yeah,
yeah. And doing the home tours it is cool to get people's perspective, even out here, because you'll see we'll post like I think we did some videos in Antioch, and like people were like, oh yeah, that home's people ask for the price, which we give if you ask the question. We want you to watch the video, and then if you have those questions, you can definitely ask them, and we answer. And there was one video we did, and someone was like, oh, someone asked for price, and another comment responded and was like, oh, it's probably like 425, like 425K. I was like, yeah, maybe 15 years ago.
yeah.
That house was actually listed at 780. You
Yeah.
know, like,
or maybe located in the city that you live in the the Middle East in the Midwest.
in the Midwest, yeah.
Yeah.
If they're looking at a video in the Middle East, they're probably like, oh, that's cheap, bro. Like, you got money out there. All right, cool. So I would say
it's not true.
Not true. So debunked.
It's debunked.
Okay.
It is debunked for sure.
All right.
It's not based on price solely.
Yeah.
No.
All right. What's next?
Well, that's the only ones that came up for the specific to
For
the
the
Bay Area.
All right,
There's so many myths that we can go over.
Let's do a couple more for just.
Let's do some buyer myths.
Huh?
Let's do some buyer myths.
Okay, do some buyer. He's gonna. You typed it in already, or?
Yeah, it's already in there. I got literally 5 buyer myths that we can go over right now.
Let's do it.
The first and biggest one of them all: you need 20% to buy a home. That is absolutely false.
Absolutely false.
Let me tell you what ChatGPT says. Many buyers think they can't buy until they've saved hundreds of thousands of dollars for a 20% down payment. In reality, there are strong loan programs at 3 to 5%. Even jumbo lenders in the Bay Area sometimes allow less than 20%.
Yeah. And for jumbo loans, that's basically a loan amount that's going to be over what's called the conforming limits of your county. So if you go on Google or ChatGPT and you enter conforming limits for whatever county you're in, a number is going to pop up. What that means is if you're getting a loan for more than that number, it's considered a jumbo loan. It's bigger than the quote unquote average price of the houses in that area. But to your point, that's absolutely false. You do not need 20%. In fact, Victor, out of everyone that we help, on average, 30 plus people a year, let's just say, 20 of those are buyers. Of the 20 buyers we help, how many of those actually put 20% down?
Maybe 10%.
Yeah, like 2.
Maybe 2.
Like 2 people.
Yeah.
What would you say? what would you, when you talk to somebody, when you talk to a potential buyer, Victor, what percentage do you usually, I don't want to say recommend, but kind of on average, what does
On average, look, it depends. If you're a first time buyer, you quote unquote, because this is another myth that I want to debunk. Just because you've bought a home before doesn't mean that you can't use first time home buyer programs again. They call them that. Look, just being completely honest with you, it's just a way to sell you.
Yeah.
It's just a way to sell you.
There are, the only products that are first-time homebuyer products are usually the grant programs through the state or a business that do require you to not currently be on the title of a home or haven't purchased a home. Like you're not a homeowner and you haven't been for like 3 years or more, right? And there's a caveat to that. I know a lot of people like to put their kids on the title of their property. Well, guess what? Your kid is no longer a first-time homeowner if they're on the title of your property, right? So that's what it means by first-time homeowners. You're not on any title to any property. Those are grant, like I said, state or grant programs. But to Victor's point, yeah, they're just selling. On everything else, they're just selling you.
Look,
there's no first-time homeowner.
If you're asking
loans.
what type of grants are we talking about, there's so many different ones. There's ones, for example, if you're in the medical field, there's ones specific to people that work in the medical field. You'll get a grant that isn't payable or you don't owe it back as long as you live in the property for a set amount of time. Most of the time is 5 years.
Yeah.
That's from experience. That's what I see. Also, law enforcement. Maybe you're a firefighter.
First responders have like
first
grants,
responders and stuff like that.
Sometimes just your employer. Like if you're part of a union or something like that, they may have a grant program. The easy way around it is down payment assistance. Grants are money that you potentially do not have to pay back. Down payment assistance, they're going to get their money back some way, somehow. It's just either deferred till later on or it's spread across the 30 years of the loan to make it more obtainable for you to get in.
And I think that's where the confusion is.
Mm-hmm.
People think that down payment assistance programs is free money. And
absolutely not.
It's not free money.
When's the last time the bank or government gave you free money?
Exactly. And just because you're buying maybe a second or third home doesn't mean that you can't use down payment assistance. You can use it again.
Yeah, exactly. So, I would say I usually tell people this. In my experience with those that I have helped, if you have about 5% of the purchase price saved up, you're probably in a position to have enough funds to not only cover the down payment, but more than likely have enough for your closing costs as well.
Good point. And you want to know why? We always go based off worst case scenario, because where I started was talking about the difference between a first-time buyer and someone that's not. Someone that's a first-time buyer is probably going to be able to use what they call an FHA loan, which allows you to put 3.5% down. That's usually what it is. You can put more down if you want to using this product as well, but typically it's 3.5%. So if you have the 5%, then of course you have the 3.5%.
Yeah, and then you also have, basically you'll be pretty close to having enough for your closing costs. And that 5%, we can, especially in a market like this, also it's market dependent. I would say in a market like this, having 5% is a good number because it gives us some negotiating power to maybe cover that difference that you're short, to maybe have like a seller credit or something to cover that extra 1% that we need. So like put things in perspective, if you're buying a house that's $600,000, if you have $30,000 saved up right now, you need to give us a call because you are in a position. You won't outsave you. It's hard to outsave the increase in the market. So homes go up in value on average in the Bay Area on like a bad year, like 5%. Like some cities are negative or flat growth, but holistically, it's like 5%. So 5% on 600,000 is 30 grand. So if you're waiting, say if you have 30 grand, but you're like, no, I want to put 60 grand down. I'm going to save another 30 grand this year, which you can do, which is great. It means you're good at savings. But now that home is going to cost you 30 more thousand next year. So you technically didn't really save. It cost you the same amount.
Yeah, you're not paying it maybe up front, but
In the long run, yeah.
over the whatever you decide to own the home for, you're paying those $30,000 extra.
So I would say, yeah, a goal to save is like 5%, right? And you can take that money from like your 401k and investments, and so it doesn't necessarily have to be in cash in your savings account.
Yep.
Cool. Yep.
Debunked. All right, here's a good one for you, okay? The asking price is what the seller expects.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Look, and I'm gonna be firm on this. The list price on a home, that means the price that you see that the home costs, is just an invitation for a home. It's either a good invitation
or a bad invitation,
or a bad invitation or a really bad invitation.
Yeah.
So again, the consumer is the one that decides what the home should cost. You and I are gonna sit down. We're gonna talk. We're gonna say, these are what homes typically are selling for in this area, in this condition. What do you feel about that? You're gonna say, I feel like asking or submitting what homes should actually, or what homes are actually selling for in that area. Or you're gonna say, you know what? I don't think that home is worth it. Can we submit at a lower price? We're going to say yes, whatever. It's whatever you decide.
Yeah. So I would say too, like, it's definitely here, just speaking here in the Bay Area where we do business, it's definitely city specific.
Yeah.
I mean, there are areas in, I'll just say it, like some cities like in the South Bay, in the peninsula, the list price is definitely not what they expect. They like to, like you said, it's an invitation. So their strategy out there is to list that. Let's just say that home sells for $1.5 million. It may be listed at like $999,000, and then everyone sends you the listing. Like, look, this home in this neighborhood, they're only asking $1 million. I know this neighborhood. I see homes sell for way more. Well, yeah, this home's gonna sell for way more as well, because to your point, Victor, the market and demand's going to dictate the price. So we can even list a home. I can list a home for $1. It's not going to sell for $1. It's going to sell for what homes in that neighborhood sell for, based on condition and stuff like that, right? So there are cities, though, where pricing is more transparent. Same home. Maybe it's worth, think the last home in that neighborhood sold for $1,050,000. We may list that $999,000.
Yeah, just below what the market value should be.
Yeah.
But it's just a strategy to get you to come see the
Everybody
home,
wants a
right?
deal. Everybody wants a deal. So if you have a budget and you think this home is going to be a deal, you're going to go check it out. And doesn't mean it might not be. It might be listed at price because of condition, right? And the seller might be hoping to get what they listed at. But it's not. I think to that point, it is debunked, because it's not, the price that's listed is not like the absolute final answer.
Right. And it also has to do with the expectations that your listing agent set up with you. If you're selling a home and your agent is saying, this is what you should get, but then you're receiving offers that are $50,000 below what you expected, your home is probably not going to sell for what your agent told you it was going to sell for.
What the expectation was.
Yeah.
And that's usually when homes sit on the market.
That's exactly what happens. That's why we're seeing all these homes right now
sitting on the market. Yeah. Yep.
All right. So that's debunked.
All right, let's do one more.
One more. Let's see. Let's do this one. New construction doesn't exist in the Bay Area.
Debunked. I just went and looked at 3 new construction neighborhoods. New construction is actually booming in the Bay Area. What I mean by booming is every like free piece of land is getting some type of housing built on it. We have a housing shortage in general in California. We do not have enough homes. You got to remember, during the Great Recession, builders, they went bankrupt too. Everyone went bankrupt, right? They stopped building. That lack of building lasted from like 2018 to like 2015, 2008 to like 2018, right? Where you started seeing builders get, like the home I own was built in 2017. That neighborhood was built in 2006, but my street was built in 2016, 2017.
You're the last phase.
I'm the last phase because they ran out of money and there was just this big dirt lot for, 10 years. And then they're saying, okay, we're going to start building again. So my house is way newer than everyone else's in the neighborhood. But that's kind of what's taking effect. So if you are not adding supply for 10 years, you're going to be so far behind in the supply of homes. And that's kind of where we're at. So new construction is booming. Not only that, man, some of the best deals you can get is in new construction.
You're getting what we say here in the Bay Area, stupid deals.
Yeah, because the new construction, a lot of them will do like in-house financing. So they want, not only do they want to make the money off of you from selling you the home,
They want to make the interest.
they want to make the interest from the loan. So they either partner up with a third-party lender, or they'll have their own in-house financing, and they'll provide incentives for you to use them, like buying your rate down, permanently locking you into a low rate.
Paid off solar.
Paid off solar. One of the ones that I went and looked at, that's follow us on TikTok and Instagram.
Go check them out.
Yeah. On the home tours that are posting, when they see this, it would be last week, right? Or it'd be like 2 weeks ago. The price that's listed actually includes the solar being paid off.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And so there's no lease. It's like it was listed, I want to say these homes, some of them starting in the 650s. No HOA, a little bit higher tax rate in that city. But the solar was part of that 650 cost. So you actually get the home with the paid off solar. No more leasing it.
It's not a bad deal.
And they do incentives. They're giving like $20K incentives for upgrades. You could probably use that $20K and buy your rate down.
You can do whatever you want with that $20,000.
Just make sure you you go there with an agent like us.
No, that's actually,
That's a myth. You don't need an agent to buy a new construction. Myth. You need an agent.
You need an agent because right now, number one, they're probably going to pay us our commission.
Yeah, it's not even commission there. It's like a co-op. They want us to bring you.
Yes. They want what this is the biggest thing right now is like you're not paying for our service. If we're most likely.
Yo, for the new construction, absolutely not.
You're not, right?
There's no they usually have it factored in. They give a set price. They're saying, "Hey, thank you for bringing this client," and walking them through the process. And here's the thing. The new construction, they're agents. The sales reps, they're real estate agents. So why, if on any other home, you will have a real estate agent to help negotiate for you, make sure the contract work is correct, understand what the market values are, do all the stuff behind the scenes to make the home purchasing, that you made a good decision, and that's what you hire us for. Why wouldn't you do that when you're buying a new construction? It's the same thing. We negotiate with the builder. The builder has sales reps who are real estate agents. We're negotiating back and forth. We're making sure that they're not slipping stuff into the contract. We're making sure that they're delivering on their promises. And the cool part about it, they already factored in that we're going to come bring you anyways. So we're not even having that conversation about, hey, are you going to be able to cover my fee, right? So,
yeah, and I think the biggest thing too is if something happens legally, my broker,
yeah,
which is representing you, which you're hiring to represent you, is going to represent you in court.
Yeah.
That's why you're hiring an agent. You're not just hiring us for that negotiating tactics.
Well, it's not represent.
But like
it's not like if you're suing them, that's between you and them. But we're gonna represent the transaction, like that transaction that took place.
Yes.
If there's anything, like our brokerage covers that liability that. Those contracts.
Thank you for clarifying, Mark. But
those contracts are done correctly. We're not going to help you sue people if your toilet's broke.
Yeah, exactly. We're not legal people here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But
to your point,
you're covered.
Yes, you had not only us look at the documentation, but our brokerage reviews all the documentations that we submitted as well, and making sure that things are in compliance and are being held to like the real estate rules that are required in California. So. Yeah, man. Debunked? Debunked, yeah. Debunked on that one. That's a lot, man. I think we covered a lot of good topics. If you guys have more, put them in the comments. If you want us to go over certain topics, put put it in the comments. We would love to, get you more involved as an audience. I mean, we've had over 1,000 listens on our podcast. So if you're part of that 1,000, thank you so much. We're looking forward to the next 1,000. And we'd love to make this a little bit more interactive. So make sure, you leave some comments, share with your friends, leave some comments, follow. And, thank you again for spending, 35 minutes of your time listening to us today. Anything else, Victor?
Do your research before do your research before you believe anything.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
Ask the expert. Ask the expert. And with that, guys, we look forward
to winning with you.